Ooh. Hi guys. Okay, so we haven't done this. I'm doing Facebook Live on my phone, Instagram Live on an iPad. So my name is Sheridan. I'm one of the owners at Body Mind Yoga. Clint, my husband, is going to be demonstrating. I'm 25 weeks pregnant and I can hardly breathe, much less bend over. With twins, it's different than just having one, okay? I want to, first you can get another device, and I have a playlist up on Spotify. If you go to Body Mind Yoga, go to that profile, and then you can find Sheridan's Flow. But today I want to challenge you to listen rather than look so much. Of course, you're going to be popping your head up to maybe check what's going on, but I'm going to challenge you over time, okay, in these next weeks of us doing these live videos, to listen more. Also, it's important to share. So it's important to keep a community mindset during this time. So like our stuff, share our stuff, do this with a friend, post your picture, because that's important. And then last, before we get started, you've heard a lot about what can hinder your health in these past couple weeks. I want to remind you of some things that can keep you well, and that we promote at this studio quite often to our students, and they're free. 5 things that are free and are more important than extra supplements or extra biohacks that you can spend lots of money on. And those things are sunlight. It's crucial. Whether it's cloudy or not, getting 30 minutes of adequate sunlight a day. Ideally, the best bang for your buck is going to be exposing your face and your chest. So take off your glasses, off your contacts, get full spectrum light 30 minutes a day. With that being said, also grounding, getting your bare feet in grass or dirt for 30 minutes a day. Adequate amounts of sleep, which should be somewhat easy during this period. So 8 to 10 hours is what I'm going to challenge you to do. Also, community is going to keep us living longer, healthier. So maintaining a connection with us or someone else. And then lastly, movement, which is what we're going to do today. So ideally 2.5 hours a day is what you want, even light movement, walking, just body weight squats. But challenge yourself during this time of sitting to take breaks every 30 minutes of just 10 minutes or something like that. All right, so enough talking. Let's get to the practice. Everybody lie flat on your backs. So a nice comfortable place with your feet extended. And then allow your palms to face the sky. This just brings you into more open posture rather than closed off, palms face down. And then just begin to take a full body scan. So notice how you feel in this moment. Not yesterday, not an hour ago, maybe with church online, but right now in this moment, can you breathe, slow things down, and acknowledge how you feel right now? Maybe you have lots of energy to take all my layers I'm going to give you today. Maybe you take the first layer and hang out a little bit lower, but begin to breathe in and out through your nose. And then you try to elongate the breath, whether you're new to the practice or old to this practice, you try to breathe deeper and longer so the chest rises, it fills up as you breathe in. And then you feel like a softening or a melting into the mat as you exhale. We're going to try to maintain nostril breathing. We're going to try to avoid breathing in and out through our mouth. I can go into that a lot, but that's just going to be your focus in this hour. All around the world, every class going on right now, all day, the focus is universal, and that's on your breathing, and that's important. Feel that rise and fall of the chest. Slow things down. We know just about 6 rounds of this Ujjayi breath kind of brings us present, kind of changes the chemistry in our brain. Good. After you've kind of brought your awareness to this place, begin to hug your knees in towards your chest. Find a squeeze around your shins. Find a little sway side to side. Maybe nod your head side to side. A roll through the ankles might feel nice. Beginning to feel how your hip flexors feel. And just this simple movement of pulling your knees elongating through the back. So sitting shortens, but with the knees in, you're making space for the back body, which is crucial during all this sitting. Good. Begin to plant your feet hips distance. Make sure your toes are forward and so are your knees, and elevate your hips for a bridge pose. Good. So it should feel nice and good. So begin, your arms can come underneath you to give your hips a little extra prop. You can interlace your fingers. Try to keep your neck neutral. And then we'll go through some details. So extend your quads forward, root down into your feet to engage your hamstrings. There should be a slight engagement of your glutes, but nothing too firm, too stressful. Take a few breaths, just feeling this big space all along the front line. Good, then just for fun, so you shift the weight towards your left foot, lift your right toes towards the sky. Good, so you can hang out or you can get a little more active, so you can point through your toes to engage more muscles. Okay, you can flex your toes towards you. Okay, same thing, engaging a little bit more. Switch, right foot down, lift the left, see how that feels. Either point or flex, what works for your body to get a little bit more engaged. Good, then set your left foot down. Keep your hips up, just reach your arms back behind you. Good, take an inhale from here, we're gonna take a little flow. On your exhale, take your arms down, drop your hips. Good, so just breath to movement. Inhale, reach your arms up, your hips up. Exhale, lower your hips, lower your arms. 2 more, breathe in. And out, soften. Good, energize as you inhale. Relax as you exhale. Good, figure 4, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Walk your left foot to the left side of your mat. And then let your knees fall to the right. And this may be different on your screen. Take your arms into a cactus to maintain your chest open. Good, and just feel this stretch you get down the left side of your lower back. If your knee's talking to you, just come out of it a little bit. Good, come back to center, switch sides. So plant your right foot, cross your left foot over. Walk your right foot to the right and let your knees fall to the left. Peek over your right shoulder. Then your breath, your awareness is into your right lower back. As your weight sits down and forward, there should be a little pull apart on these side bodies that get super tight no matter what you do. Whether you're sitting or whether you're working, they're gonna get short. Bring it back to center, get square, pull your knees in towards your chest. Good, and let's rock and roll this seated. So forward and back, come to seated, cross-legged. From this place, you're just gonna take some windmill arms. Reach your right arm up and over, reach your left arm up and over. You're gonna add in some forward flexion, you're gonna add in some back bends. Okay, so just create some space. Maintain your hips heavy as you find some reaches. Energize out through the fingertips. Move, move, move. If you've opened your mouth, seal your lips. Keep the breath through your nose. Then lift yourself up. Switch the crossing. Just begin to hinge yourself forward and pause. So kind of find a sway through the hips to reach your bottom back as you just rest your third eye center on your mat, on your floor, whatever works. All right, bring yourself up. We're gonna find some mobility in the hips. So bring your feet to the outsides of your mat. Good, then just begin to windshield wiper your knees side to side. If you can flex your toes towards your knees, that's gonna just keep you a little bit more aligned rather than just hanging out. Just find a little rock side to side. These guys right here are money. Okay, can do them at any time, don't have to be warmed up. Next layer, shift forward, take your hands to heart center, move side to side. Good, so adding a balance, shift and shift. Next layer, as you move to one side, bring your hands to heart center, press hips forward. Good, babe. Drop your hips, switch sides, press your hips forward, take a pause. This is your timing, okay? So it doesn't have to go with Clint or I. You take it slow as you need. Next layer, as you move to one side, the back foot steps forward, you lunge. You bring it back, right back to where it was. You may get lost on this. If you've been in my classes, you might know where you're going. So just lunge, bring it right back, keep the balance, switch. All right, good. Knee through center once you're square. Feet stay wide, toes forward. Take your right hand behind you, bridge through your hips. Take a little back bend. Good. So you can kind of open through your chest. You can kind of close off through your chest. You can go between the two. Keep your lips sealed, switch sides. Butt to heels, left hand down, right arm up and back. Bridge through your hips. Kind of close off, kind of open up, or just stay still. Good. One more time to the right, right hand down, a little less of a hold. Bring it to the left, butt down, left hand down, up and over. Good. Butt down, tabletop. Swing your legs around. I'm going to give you a moment to find some lubrication in your spine through some cat-cows. So there's an arch through the back on an inhale. There's a chin in towards your chest, a rounding on the exhale. Move freely. There's no right or wrong. You're just creating space through your spine, okay? I suggest gazing right and left, kind of tapping into your obliques, awakening those guys. The feet are tight. A lot of you aren't like me and go barefoot quite often. So curl your toes under, sit your bottom back towards your heels. Allow your toes to open up a little bit. Good. All right, good. Come to a neutral spine, a flat back. Begin to curl your toes under if they aren't. Begin to hover your knees for a little core hold. So it's important that your fingers are spread wide, like you're palming a basketball if that talks to you. Pointer fingers turn forward, if not slightly turned out. Avoid turning them in. Then find the connection. Really root down into your mat. Engage through the inner arms, pull your belly in. We're gonna add some movement. So from this tabletop, drop your heels to the right. Begin to kick your right leg out to the left. Hover your left hand. Bottom leg. There you go. Switch. Bottom leg shoots out. Right hand to heart center. Move side to side. Try to stay low in your box through center. Keep the belly firm. Move side to side. And this is just some mobility stuff to warm up. You can stay right here. You can add on beginning to grab a foot. So as you twist, you grab a foot and kick. If you're doing this option, flex through your foot as you kick, and as you drop your hips, you can get a little bit deeper. Good. I'm already breathing fast. Good. Once you feel good, downward facing dog, reset, curl your toes under, lift your hips up and back. Good. Then you're just here for about 10 or so breaths. Drop your knees if you need, but get familiar in this first downward facing dog. You can sway your hips, whatever you need. Maybe it's stillness. If you lost your breath, connect. If you lost your belly, connect. And your heels never have to touch the mat. Mine still don't. What I want every single person on these live videos to do is to find a slight bend in your knees. So rather than straight legs, you're going to find a slight bend. This is going to keep you doing yoga with us for a really long time. With the bend in the knees, Clay can find a longer spine. He's tilting his sit bones upward, and his hands are in that same place that they were in plank, slightly turned out. Good, 2 more breaths. real good in the back. Belly's pulled in no matter what. Your knees can drop for support. Neck is long, so your gaze is at the top of your mat. A little less crank at the neck, just long. Downward facing dog, next exhale, shift it back. Good. We'll take some breaths of movement. Inhale, high plank, come forward. Exhale, down dog, bring it back. 2 more, breathe in, reach your heart forward. Reach your heart back, exhale. Good, breathe in, shift. Maybe get a little bit more forward at your wrists. Then exhale, bring it back. Walk your hands back to your feet. Uttanasana, back of the mat, forward fold. I want you to bring your feet apart from each other, like space. At least 2 fists. Grab opposite elbows, kind of sway, drape through your body. Feel, you've been in down dog for a while. Okay, now you're in a forward fold. So recognize that Clint and your hips have been above your heart for quite some time. Reversing the blood flow, okay, keeping things circulated. As we sit, shoulders on top of our hips all day long, okay, blood gets stagnant. As we begin to move, invert, okay, you don't have to do a handstand to invert. This guy right here is perfect. Keep the shape, just interlace your fingers behind your back. Find a little shoulder opening. You can, if your palms can touch, you can begin to reach your arms forward over your head. Okay, but step 1 would be palms together before you take that deeper. Stay put through center, add a little twist side to side. So bend a knee, drop a shoulder to find a little twist. Keep the belly in. Set your hands down, forward fold, relax. You're going to take a halfway lift. Next inhale, hands to shins or the mat. Exhale, forward fold. 2 more, breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. 1 more, flat back. Not rounded, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Big inhale, come all the way to stand. Bend your knees a lot to rise. Hands to prayer, exhale, relax. Good, inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Belly to thighs, bend the knees. Lift halfway, inhale. Low crouch, exhale. Tuck and round into a little ball. Spike your heels. Curl your chin in towards your chest. Get your forehead to get close to your knees. No, bend your knees a lot. Get your bottom towards your heels. Spike your heels. Now get your forehead to your knee. Good, low crouch. Good. So he's just working on getting his forehead to his knees. His doesn't touch, okay? That's perfectly fine. Good, set your heels down, high plank. Bring it forward, stack your shoulders. Take your time to get there, breathe. And then go through a little cobra flow. So lower all the way to your bellies. Uncurl your toes. Take the time to stretch your right leg back, your left leg back as long as it can. Root down into your feet, your kneecaps will lift, your quads are firm, then lift your chest. Hug your elbows in, keep your gaze forward, try not to look right or left and just hold. Allow the lower back to strengthen, it's weak when we sit, it gets weak, weak, weak as we age. Strengthen, hold. Relax, child's pose, butt to heels, open your knees, stretch, sit back, relax. Breathe. You can be here at any time in this practice. This is a perfect place to be. Downward facing dog whenever you're ready. Hips up and back. Good. So breaths and movement through that little cobra flow. High plank as you inhale. To your bellies as you exhale. Straight into cobra as you inhale. Child's pose as you exhale. Down dog, inhale, it's a little quicker than you've been moving. Hold for the exhale. 2 more rounds, high plank, breathe in. To your bellies, breathe out. Cobra, inhale, hug the elbows in. Exhale, down dog, or excuse me, child's pose, child's pose. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, drop, hug your elbows in. Inhale, cobra, hug your elbows in. Exhale, child's pose, relax, butt to heel, shift, press into your hands. Inhale, down dog. Stay, exhale, pick up your right leg, bend the knees, stack the hips. Good. Move things around. So create some big circles with this right knee, in and around, out and around, lubricating the hip joint. Doesn't have to be perfect, just working on movement. Switch sides, right foot down, lift your left, bend the knee, take some big hip circles. Nice. All right, good. Set your left foot down. Peek at your hands, step hop, float towards your hands a little, sun A flow. We'll add in a couple postures. Good, lift halfway. Fold, exhale. Your inhale brings you to stand. Utthita Hastasana, straight into half moon. Grab your left wrist, bend up and over to the right, stretch. Hold for this first round. Less about how deep you go, more about belief. So find space. It doesn't have to be super low. We'll be here twice more on each side. Lift up and out. Find the same stretch to the left. I want you to lift your chin a little bit. So rather than here, you're here. Try to bring your upper arm bones back, so space across your chest. Come through center, forward fold. Bend your knees, take your time, hinge yourself all the way down. Lift halfway, breathe in. High plank, breathe out. Plant your hands, step it back. Lower all the way to your bellies with control. Once you get there, bring it down. This time, interlace your fingers behind your back. You're gonna lift your chest and your legs for full locust. Okay, so now we're moving up the spine. Now Clint is strengthening his middle back with his legs and his chest lifted. Good. If your back is fine, bring your big toes to touch. Otherwise, they can be spread. Good. Soften in your chest so you have more space there. Keep that neck long. Take an inhale. Child's pose to down dog. Shift it back, stretch. And whenever you're ready, downward facing dog, reset. From down dog, pick up your right leg, bend the knees, stack the hips, just for a yummy stretch. Switch, right foot down, pick up the left, bend the knees, stack the hips, stretch. Left foot down, peek at your hands, make your way top of the hat. Mat, try to be light. Lift halfway, inhale, heart forward. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees, hinge. Keep the bend in the knees, stand, rise. Inhale, all the way up. Take it to the right, exhale, half moon. A little quicker, come through center. Exhale to the left. Through center, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Long spine, bend the knees, bend the knees. Lift halfway. Last time to your bellies, plant your hands, step it back. Take your time, lower all the way down. Use your knees if you need to. Bend your knees this round. Grab the outsides of your feet. Good, this one's tough. So you can take one foot at a time if you can't find the grab. Otherwise, lift your legs and lift your chest. Good. So now Clint's strengthening his cervical spine, his upper back. Clint's hips are a little tight, so his knees bow outward. Okay, as he becomes a little bit more loose, he's going to bring his knees more in, a little bit hips distance, without force. Next exhale, child's pose to down dog. Reset, shift it back, and bring your hips up and back whenever you're ready. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Exaggerate the exhale, draw the exhales out. Right leg high, bend the knees, stack the hips. One more round. Right foot down, switch it out. Left leg up, bend the knees, stack the hips, stretch. Left foot down, peek forward, travel, top of your mat, however you choose. Lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, long spine. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, Utthita Hastasana, extended hands, reach, reach, reach. Over to the right, half moon. Through center, breathe in. To the left, breathe out. And central, forward fold. Exhale, bend the knees with some cushion in your joints. Lift halfway. Add in your downward chaturanga. If you know what you're doing, follow Clint. If you don't, come from high plank. Lower your knees, just take a little half push-up, hugging the elbows in. Press back, downward facing dog. Good, we'll move into a sun B flow. Look forward, step, hop, float towards your hands. Lift halfway. This time bring your feet to touch. Utkatasana chair pose. Okay, so rather than what you might think yoga isn't all about flexibility, there's a strength component as well. Okay, so in this one we're engaging. Finding the connection with the earth through our feet. I think Jordan taught me this cue, but think as if you're drawing your feet outward to engage your outer glutes. Arms can be up, but if that causes tension, just bring them to heart center. Core is knitted, so core stays firm all the while you sit your butt back as far as you can. Sit back, sit back, sit back. Forward fold, exhale, relax. Lift halfway, breathe in. Chaturanga, through your flow, you can just meet in downward facing dog, or you can go through the chaturanga to the up dog, to the downward facing dog. Right leg high. We're gonna take our knee to our nose 3 times. So pull your knee in, find your core, then bring it back, lift up. Twice more, knee to nose, reach it back. Bonded chargers, 1 more, pull in, squeeze, reach it back. Warrior 1, step through, rise, settle in, breathe, relax. Okay, we always hold the first flow. Okay, so soften through your shoulders. Arms are secondary, so again, you can bring them to heart center. Okay, the hips are neutral. So this left hip, this back hip is kind of pushing forward, but not at the expense of a deep arch in your back. So stay a little bit higher to draw your butt down. Keep your core firm. Good. Find the outside of your back foot, lift through your inner arch a little bit. Inhale. Warrior 2, pivot open. Find your external rotation. Settle in. Good. Breathe, relax. So in this guy, the right knee wants to bow forward. I want you to keep it right in line with your second to third toe. Keep in mind, you should always be able to see your right big toe to the inside of your knee. Good, babe. There's a reach. Gaze over the front hand. Looks good. Let's come out of it. Inhale, reverse. Front knee can stay bent or you can straighten it. Let it feel good. Then chaturanga on your exhale. Hands down, step it back. Vinyasa. Left side, left leg lifts. 3 knee to nose on your time. The exhale brings you forward. The inhale, you reach. Reach is important. Exhale in. The reach, find it. Good. 1 more. And out. Good breath. Step through, warrior 1. Relax and hold. Good. So you can see Clint's front toes are straight forward. His back foot is at an angle. And this back hip over time is adjusting forward to square. Good. Shoulders soft. It's good to practice bringing your gaze up just because we're all looking down on our phones and such the majority of the day. Find the outside of your back foot. Warrior 2. Pivot around, open, extend. Good. So there's an external rotation from Clint's hip. You can see his big toe to the inside of his knee is directly forward. Shoulders stacked. So these are all cues. You can take what you want and leave what you don't. A lot of people shift forward. I want you to shift back a little bit. See the shoulders are stacked over the hips. Sit a little bit lower. Then reverse. Breathe in. Let the release happen. Next, exhale, chaturanga, flow through, allow it to reset you. If it doesn't, then just press back, down dog, take some extra breaths. We're gonna go through that twice more, then we'll catch a break together. 2 breaths and down dog. If you feel tension in your body, you can exhale through your mouth, but come back into Ujjayi, in and out through the nose. Starting with chair pose, gaze forward, step, hop, float, top of the mat. Lift yourself halfway. Exhale, forward fold, relax. Inhale, Utkatasana. Find find it. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Lift halfway. Chaturanga if you want it, or down dog if you don't. Breathe no matter what. Good, right leg high. Knee to nose 3 times. You can omit this. This is what I like to call fluff, okay? Standing postures are more important. This is just a little extra heat. On your, once you've done 3, step it through. Warrior 1 is your inhale. Warrior 2 is your exhale. Reverse, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Hands down, flow. High to low plank. Oh my gosh, yes. Left leg high. Knee to nose 3 times. Pull it in and out. If you're tired, you skip it, or you just hold warrior 1. We'll meet you there. Warrior 1 is an inhale all the way up. Your exhale takes you into warrior 2, open. Reverse, breathe in. Chaturanga Dandasana, breathe out. High to low plank, exhale, exhale to get there. Your inhale is an up dog. Your exhale is a down dog. 2 breaths, we've got 1 more round. Relax your head, chin is in towards your chest and your down dog. Then gaze forward, step, hop, float, top of the mat, shift. Lift halfway. And fold. Utkatasana last time here. Breathe in. Forward fold. Breathe out. Belly to thighs. Inhale, lift. Exhale, flow. High to low plank. Let the body move. Right leg high, you can hold or take 3 to nose, 3 knee to nose. Belly pulls in, maybe your thigh comes in towards your chest, maybe you dome for your back. Whenever you're ready, the inhale is warrior 1, all the way up. Exhale, warrior 2. Big inhale, reverse. Big exhale, chaturanga, high to low. Left leg up. Knee to nose, or you just hold. Warrior 1 lifts you. Warrior 2, pivot open. Inhale, lift up and back. Exhale, flow high to low. We're gonna meet in a yogi squat to take a little break, okay? So feet are wide, okay? So your heels can fall towards your mat. Feet are wide. Good. You find a little sway side to side, get a drink, wipe your face. Okay? Yeah. You take breaks as needed. We're going to continue to move. So take a forward fold. Sorry, elevate your hips. Just stay here and find a little sway side to side. Find your inner thigh that is dropping your right and left hip. Good. Downward facing dog. Plant your hands. Bring it back. Cleansing breath as we get into down dog. Clint likes his yoga really slow. I like my yoga a little fast. Downward facing dog. Cleansing breath. Breathe in. Side out. Good. Lift your right leg high. Just bring it forward, low lunge. Drop your back knee and reach your arms up to the sky. This guy right here is money. Like we talked about with your knees pulled in towards your chest and space for your lower back. Okay, so think about this. The front of his left hip is open. When you sit, it's shortened, which is connected to your lower back. Okay? So when the front hip is open, your lower back gets a release. So you bring your hips forward as much as you like. Okay? You stabilize by staying a little bit more lifted. Good. Good. Half splits. Take your hands down. Pull your right toes back towards your face. Good. So stamp your right heel in towards the mat. You can just fold into your leg. You can maintain like some length through the spine by reaching your heart forward. Hands can come to blocks or books. I don't know, soup cans, whatever you have at home. Low lunge twist. So step back into your right foot, hands to prayer, hook your left elbow. So if you're pregnant, this is one of the things we avoid. Okay, if you're nice and healthy, this is one of the things that we do daily is twist. Mobility through the spine, but also kind of intensifies detoxification. Standing splits. Take your hands down, shift into the front foot, lift your back leg. Good. So less focus on how high the leg can go. Majority of the time in the pose, find squared hips so I could stack my coffee on top of his hips so it wouldn't spill. Relax your head. Hands can come to, again, some blocks or whatever. Half moon. Take your right hand to a block or the floor. Heel open through your left side. So foundation is important in all these poses, so we always start from the feet. Clint's right leg is stuck in a ski boot. Okay, so his toes aren't moving in or out. Toes are straight forward. Then wherever his top hip can open from there, that's where he's going to stay. Left hand down, high crescent lunge. Step your left foot back. Lift your chest high. Good. Good. So similar to warrior one, less arch in the back, maybe a little bit more lift to drop the tailbone. There's a slight bend in your back knee, so you're not hyperextending, getting into that knee joint in an unnecessary way. Take your hands behind your back, find a chest expansion. Open up, draw your knuckles down your back leg, pull your belly in to stabilize. Keep the bind, warrior three. Hinge your chest forward, step into your right foot. Balance the best you can. We know that balance decreases as age. This is another reason why you should come to class. We work on it, okay? Practice. Keep the bind, hug your left knee in towards your chest. You're standing, then grab around your shin to start. Find a squeeze. Maybe a roll through the left ankle. Figure four. Cross your left ankle over, hands to prayers, take a little squat. Flex through your left toes as you squat. Checking the time. Okay. Okay, forward fold, next exhale, feet together, hinge forward. Lift halfway, breathe in. Chaturanga Dandasana, breathe out. Plant your hands, flow, or meet in downward facing dog. As you get tired, the elbows go out. It's important to keep them hugged in. Left leg up, matching the flow. Step through, low lunge. Back knee down. You have some time in this first round to feel it out. So arms up overhead, they can rest on your thigh if that's too much. If you want a little bit more pointers, I always say kind of take a peek back. Make sure your right shin is straight back behind your quad. Sometimes it sickles in or out. The top of the foot is pressing straight down, so this looks good, babe. The toes are straight back rather than sickling in or out, getting a stretch through the top of your back foot. Half splits, hands down, begin to straighten out your left leg. That stretch through your half splits. Bring it back. There we go, there we go. He likes doing his own thing, this is hard. Breathe. Shift back forward, add your twist and your low lunge. So hook your elbow to the outside of your thigh. Good. Every exhale, the belly pulls in. So there's literally a wringing out of your organs on the exhale. Over time, as he becomes a little bit more open, his prayer hands will literally come to his heart center. But we don't force, it's just those micro movements over time. Standing splits. Come forward, pinch your hands, step into your left foot, lift your right toes. Little bit of balance, little stretch, that front knee's bent, the head's relaxed. And for a second, you can feel what it feels like to get the right leg as high as you want it. But again, the majority of the time, squared, stable, controlled hips. High crescent lunge, giant step back. Use your core to stack your shoulders. Widen your stance. Breathe. Maybe your gaze comes up. Slight bend in your back knee. Belly in. Hands come behind you. Find that clasp. Maybe your opposite thumb comes on top. Lift your gaze if it wasn't. Stretch your knuckles down your back leg. For warrior 3, bring your chest forward. Step into it. Slowly drag your back foot to lift. Good. And maybe you engage. Maybe you point through those back toes. Maybe you flex some. Half moon. Take your left hand to the block or the floor. Open up through the right side. If you lost your nostril breathing, seal your lips. Breathe. And I messed up, didn't I, somehow? Drop your right hands. Take your hands behind you. Come up to standing into one-legged Tadasana. Sorry, I just kind of switched the posture a little bit. Grab around your right shin, squeeze in. Maybe roll through your right ankle. Figure 4, cross the ankle over. It's important to flex these top toes. Okay, you don't have to go super low to get this stretch in your hips. Smile. Forward fold. Mindfully bring your feet parallel, hinge your chest. Lift halfway. Chaturanga if you want it, or downward facing dog if you don't. We don't got a lot of time, so we're going to go through that twice more, breath to movement, and then we'll start to slow it down. Take 2 breaths in down dog. You can exhale through the mouth. Y'all are doing great, even though I can't see you. And we'll start with the right leg high. Low lunge, first posture, that knee down, lift your arms, find the reach. Half splits, hands down, straighten out the back leg. Shift back forward at a twist. We'll hold here so you can detox, bring it out. Standing splits, step into your front foot, lift your back leg. Half moon, right hand down. This is where I messed up. Open your left thumb. Standing splits back to high crescent lunge. Try to be light on that step back. Take your time to lift your chest up. Gaze up, hands behind you. Open through your chest, broaden. Take your time, warrior 3. Slowly shift. Slowly drag your back foot to lift. Keep the bind, belly in. Squeeze your left knee in towards your chest. Take figure 4 whenever you're ready. Cross the ankle over. Find it, breathe, hold, because it feels good. Forward fold, exhale. Flat back, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale, move through. Good, left leg up when you're ready. Match things up, step it through. Low lunge to start, breathe in once you get there. Your exhale takes you into half splits. Straighten out your front leg, try to draw out your breath. Shift forward, as your twist will hold. Hook your right elbow, breathe. Standing splits, use your core to transition. Half moon whenever you're ready. Some of you at home can grab the back outer ankle for that candy cane variation. High crescent lunge, the hips have to square to step it back. Be light, like a ninja. Gaze up, hands behind you, broaden through the chest. Hinge forward, step into it, warrior 3, flat. Keep the core in, just hug that right knee, come up to stand. And you can grab around the shin, or you can just go right into figure 4 right away. Hold and breathe, softening your torso. Mind is into the sensation in your hips. Next exhale, forward fold, let it go. Lift halfway, breathe in. Chaturanga, breathe out. You've got one more round if you want it. One more round to get the heart rate up. And we'll slow things down. Take a little bit longer stretches. Right leg high. Low lunge, breathe in, gaze up once you get there. Half splits, hands down, straighten it out. Press through your right heel. Twist, shift forward, hook your left elbow, breathe. Standing splits, come forward, pick up your back leg. Half moon, right hand is in line with your right pinky toe. Keep the toes forward. Step back, high crescent lunge whenever you're ready. Good, maybe balance to get there. Hands behind you, open through your chest. Take your time, knit the ribs, warrior three. Squeeze the knee in, you rise. Come to standing, a bend in the standing knee. Good, figure four. Or you hold. Good. Take your exit whenever you're ready. Hinge. Lift halfway, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out, flow. Last side, left leg up. Step through, lunge. Half Hanuman, half splits. Bring it back. Step into it, twist. With your elbow, revolve. Good. Standing splits, bring it forward. Half moon, open up. And grab that back outer foot if you want. High crescent lunge, bring it back. Gaze up once you get there, be soft. Hands come behind you, interlace your fingers open, but keep the ribs together. Shift forward, warrior three. Squeeze the knee in, one-legged Tadasana, rise with control. Figure four, cross, flex the right toes as you squat. Last time here. Forward fold, take it down, hinge, shake it out. Lift halfway, reset. Vinyasa, flow. Stay with me from down dog. Step your right foot through. Pivot to the left, wide-legged straddle. This is your active rest, just hang out. Good. So some key points here, starting with the feet. Toes aren't turned out, they're turned forward if not in. Okay. And then rather than shifting the weight towards the heels, shift a little bit more weight towards the balls of your feet. There can be a bend in your knees. And then anything goes from here. You can just hang out, hands can come behind you. Okay, you can find those Skandasana, monkey variations, bending right and left. That can feel nice. Yeah, you can stay a little higher, finding a lunge or a twist side to side. At the beginning of class, Clint asked if anybody wanted to do a 10-minute horse pose, hold. After class, we may do that this week, but we're gonna come up into horse pose and hold it just because that's the pose he wanted. So whenever you're ready, rise up, heels in, toes out, hands to heart center, more of a strength posture rather than a stretch. So similar to warrior two, you can see your big toes to the insides of your knees, your hips or your outer thighs are rolling to the wall behind you, shoulders stacked. So if your shoulders are really far forward, you're too deep, come out of it to get your shoulders stacked over your hips. Pull your belly in, butt to heels. Maybe you close your eyes and just stay in the stress, the struggle. We know that builds resilience. Maybe you hover your heels for the last little part. Shift the weight to the balls of your feet, spike your heels. A little bit more engagement. Good. Heels down, pivot your toes in, forward fold, relax forward. Good. Bring yourself to the top of your mat, step it back, downward facing dog. Good, and actually lower your knees. Either you pick a camel pose, or you come to your backs for a back bend. What do you want to do? Camel? Yeah. Okay. So curl your toes under. Camel's a good place to be. Otherwise, that bridge like we did at the beginning of class here is where you're at. But I'll go through some cues for camel. Okay, so Clint's thighs are straight up and down. It doesn't worry about how deep you go. Okay, alignment, length is more head is relaxed back, and I don't think it's relaxed back. There we go. So chin is open, throat is open. You can begin to grab his heels and curl your toes under if that's less stress. Your head's still not dropping back. There we go. Bad listener. Alright, then just come out of it. If you're on your backs, just drop your butt. If you're here, you can come forward, whatever you want to do, butt to heels, reset. We're going to go into a pigeon stretch whenever you're ready, or you can come to your backs for figure four, what you did in your balance. Otherwise, Clint's going to go with his right knee towards his right wrist. Right knee, right wrist. Good. This shin never has to be parallel. Ever, 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 okay? The closer your heel is in towards your body, the less intense. What is important is that your right toes are flexed because there's a lot of pressure on your right knee. If it's too much, you come to figure four on your backs. And Clint just did a great little thing, which you can use a towel or whatever to place underneath your right bottom cheek. Your back toes can be curled under or flat. Your chest can be up, or you can find sinking pigeon. You try to relax, and you try to rest, even with your hips talking to you a lot. We'll hold here, I'll become silent. You just try to come back into your longer breaths. More breaths wherever you're at. And we set in downward facing dog. So curl your toes, back toes under. You're going to shake your right leg in down dog if that feels okay. Okay, it was just closed, so you kind of move things around. Good. Then switch sides whenever you're ready. Either figure four, or your left knee is going to come to your left wrist. Hug that left heel in towards your body as much as you need to. Over time, you work it parallel as the hips become more open. Drop this right hip down so the hips are square. Back toes can be flat or curled under. Flex through your left toes, then just find your rest. Sleepy pigeon. The neck, the jaw, the shoulders hold a lot of tension. So you can bring your focus to there to just rest. I'll remind you as well that the word safe, okay, kind of speaks to you. So you can repeat over and over to yourself if you've done this practice or not. You know that the mind is so powerful, okay? Christian or not, yogi or not, the mind is powerful. So repeating the words, repeating a phrase, I am safe during this time, I am safe during this outbreak, okay, can be a powerful tool. Once you feel even, shake it out through downward facing dog. Your left leg is shake, shake, shake. Good. Then come all the way to your bottoms. Bring your feet forward. Make your way all the way to your backs. Relax. Move into a happy baby. So grab for the outsides of your feet. Flex your toes. Find a little sway side to side. The tailbone wants to lift over time. Try to drop it down towards the mat. Elbows can come to the insides of your knees to lightly press out as you cool down. We'll take a twist. So take your right leg all the way over your left, like a lady in a chair. All the way over. Good. The knees fall to the left. Whatever top leg is on top, you bring it up and over. Then you gaze the opposite way, arms into cactus or whatever. From all that movement at the end of the practice, it's always good to kind of reset with a twist. As well as your organs, your body's a little bit heated. We definitely believe in heat at this studio. You can't replace infrared heat. So come in as soon as we open back up and switch sides. Knees through center, left leg's gonna cross, then you bring it across your body, or you can stay with what Clint's doing, just knees together without the cross. Belly breath, so draw out that exhale, navel to spine. Bring the knees back to center. We're going to close with winding moving pose. So pull both knees in to start. Keep a hold of your right shin. Let the left leg go forward. So find a basket. Interlace your finger grip a couple inches below the knee to squeeze in. Both legs are completely relaxed. So Clint's finding a tight squeeze on his right thigh, his hip flexor, getting that length through the lower back. And switch, right leg forward, bring your left knee in. Find the same generous squeeze, not through your traps. Recruit your biceps to pull in. Good. Relax your left leg. Final squeeze, pull your both knees in. And try to grab for opposite elbows this last time. So wrap, wrap, wrap. Get uncomfortable in the hips to find a tighter squeeze than you normally do. Press. And then relax. We'll find our final resting pose, which is just as important as the work. Palms face up like you started. And you can take that mental scan from the top of your head down to the soles of your feet of just relaxing muscles away from the bone. Just melt into your mat, the earth, whatever is beneath you. Let the breath go, let go of that. And then maybe you take a visualization technique for your final closing. So maybe you visualize a cloud above you passing with your thoughts one by one. No judgment that thoughts come up. We all have them. You just try to find that space between. Complete relax, just rest. So an 8-minute Shavasana is ideal. Okay, we'll begin to wiggle through your fingertips, your toes, begin to waken things back up. I'm going to close things out with you. So begin to reach your arms up overhead, finding some length, find a full body reach. And then pull your knees in towards your chest, find a squeeze around your shins. Whenever you're ready, drop your knees to your favorite side, right or left. And take this time to rest. Seal in this practice, whether you know it or not, you're connected with multiple people, adding breaths to movement. So hold on to that. Remember those things that are free that we talked about at the beginning that are going to keep you well. Continue on with these good decisions. Movement through yoga, sunlight, grounding, sleep. Whenever you're ready, press up to a comfortable seat. Sukhasana, easy sitting pose, cross-legged. Heavy in your hips, long through your spine. Good. Palms face up or down. We're going to take 2 cleansing breaths together. So take a full body inhale, breathe in. A full body exhale, breathe out. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Reach your arms out and up. Bring your palms together, bring your thumbs to this chest. The light and love in me honors each one of you. Always remember you are enough and don't let anybody steal your peace. Namaste. And I'll remind you that tonight, that's so funny, it closed things out for me. Tonight we have restorative with Abby at 4:30.